that. Thank you.
Thank you. Senator Ricketts.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Ambassador Verma, for your service to our country and for your interest in continuing to serve our great nation. And I also want to thank your family because I know they serve and sacrifice alongside you when you do that. So you're going to be the Deputy Secretary of Management and Resources, and some of your responsibilities will include overseeing the department's personnel, facilities, managing foreign contracts, grants, foreign aid, and the acquisition and upkeep of technology. Roughly, do you have an idea of how many people you would be responsible for?
Well, it's a great question. The department has well over 70,000 people if you include locally employed staff and contractors. So it's a big group of folks, but we also have a pretty extensive and highly qualified team. So thankfully, I'm not the only person responsible for that.
Right. So talk to me a little bit about some of your past experience in managing large teams like that, and also maybe touch upon some of your past experience with some of the things we talked about, like with grants, facilities, technology, that sort of thing.
Sure. I mean, obviously, I've never managed 77,000 people before, but again, that's why we have the secretary, the head of management. In India, we probably had a team of 4,100 people, which was a large, complicated organization. We had every agency of the U.S. government. We had 4 consulates. We had a budget of $500 million. Senator, I can't say that that's exactly what this job will entail, but it gave me a flavor for how the department operates and how we can have impact, and I think we did a pretty decent job of it. With regard to grants and the administration of grants, I also worked at the National Democratic Institute as a grantee. I was a field representative in Eastern Europe. I've sat on the board of NDI. I'm on the board of the National Endowment for Democracy. I'm on the board of the Ford Foundation. I have a pretty good feel for the grant process and how to have an impact and what I think we owe to the American people when we put money out the door.
All right, very good. Talk to me a little bit about when Secretary Blinken's talking about his modernization agenda. What does that say to you? What are you thinking about when you hear that?
Yeah, so I hear first and foremost that we have to have the capability set for the challenges of today. So new cyber bureau, new health bureau, ready on climate change, for example. Secondly, have a agile, hybrid, mission-focused workforce. Third, having the kinds of technology that's required to meet the challenges of today and the proper cybersecurity protocols. Having a diverse and inclusive workforce. Having the proper resources to do the mission. Those are some of the things that I think about when it comes to modernization.
Have you had any experience working with any sort of process improvement methodologies? And the reason I ask this question is, as governor, one of the things I brought to the state of Nebraska was Lean Six Sigma. And that's one of the methodologies, but there's a number of them out there, that really works with your frontline people and teams to be able to figure out how we can do a better job providing services and also let you keep control of your costs as well. Do you have any experience with any of those kind of methodologies? I know you were in the private sector at MasterCard, but did your job involve that at all?
I don't know if it's credible to say I have an industrial engineering degree as well from about 40 years ago. But no, I think, look, this is why we have teams of experts to go out and make sure that when we procure services, we're doing them with having the greatest impact and the greatest efficiency, that we use data to make decision making. And again, Senator, I wouldn't presume to know what our teams of people know. It's even more complicated for the department because we're in places that are not often permissive, that don't often want us there. And so the security situation becomes quite difficult. So there's a lot of factors that go into State Department procurement that are incredibly complicated. I'd also say it's been a department that was under-resourced for far too long. Now that has started to change, but I think we're in a far better place than where we were. But I take the thrust of your question, which is make sure you're doing it right when you're spending the money.
Yeah, absolutely. It's about leveraging better technology and better processes, reducing the number of steps, for example, to do the kind of average things that you do on an operational basis. At the state of Nebraska, we created a Center of Operational Excellence to train all of our teammates on how to do that. And it's one of the things that I didn't see in Secretary Blinken's talking about the modernization agenda is about being able to be effective and efficient in controlling costs. So I'd ask you to really think about that as you're, presuming you get confirmed here, about how you can help drive that, especially with your background, to be able to make sure that the dollars that we're responsible for are being employed in the most effective and efficient way. Thank you.
Great point. Thank you.